Hello, I'm Nick, welcome to Quest. So this is the first of a couple of videos about what it's like to be a subcontractor in the construction industry. This particular video is about what it's like if you're a sole trader. So if you're a limited company but a subcontractor in the construction industry, then we're going to do another video for you. But if you're a sole trader, in other words, if you don't have a limited company, you're just you as an individual, you're working in the construction sector, or you might have a business but still you haven't registered a limited company, and you are suffering CIS, Construction Industry Scheme deductions, this is for you. So first of all, what's CIS? Quick introduction. Basically, back in the day, chippies, sparkies, plumbers and the like would turn up on a construction site, they would get paid cash in hand, they would go home and they would pay no tax whatsoever. And the government got a bit fed up with this, so they introduced the Construction Industry Scheme, which insists that contractors deduct money from subcontractors and give it to the government. Well, how much do they deduct? Well, if you're not registered for CIS, they will deduct 30% of what you're entitled to of your payment. Even if you are registered for CIS, they will still deduct 20%. So the first thing to do is make sure you get registered. How do you do that? Well, you need to do two things. Number one, you need to be registered as for self-employment, and secondly, you need to be registered for CIS. So how do you do those? Well, register for self-employment. There's a horrible, great long URL, one of these link things appearing on the screen at the moment. It's also on the website, so you can just go to it and click on it, and that will take you through to the beginning of the process for registering for self-employment. And once you've done that process, that will generate a thing called a UTR that's going to be sent to you. And UTR stands for Unique Tax Reference, and you need that. Once you've got that, then you can also register for CIS. You can do that online, or you can phone a number, and the number is appearing on your screen at the moment. So if you're already registered as self-employed but you just haven't registered for CIS, then all you need to do is ring that number and then they'll sort things out for you. Obviously, we're accountants. If you don't like any of that particular process, we'd be delighted to help get you registered for CIS. So once you are registered, then the tax regime is still awful. It's a terrible framework because it takes no account of the fact that you have a personal allowance. In other words, you have an allowance, same as everybody else, to which you're allowed to earn before you start paying tax, or a separate allowance for when you start paying national insurance. It doesn't care, they just insist that they deduct this money. Now, the effect of that is, come the end of the year, most subcontractors who are sole traders who work in the construction industry and suffer CIS are entitled to money back. Can't guarantee it, isn't always the case, but for the majority of people who are in that category, they are entitled to money back. Well, how do you get the money back? Okay. Well, the first thing that's very important is when the contractors pay you your money and keep this 20 or 30% back, you are entitled to a statement from them to say how much money they've deducted. Now, this is really important because, unfortunately, there are some people in the construction industry who are cowboys who tell you they've paid this 20 or 30% over to the government but actually haven't. You need evidence. You need a statement. You're entitled to one. You should ask for one. You should get one, and you will need that as a record of how much CIS has been deducted from your pay already. Then what you need to do is you need to complete a self-assessment, and that's the process you use to claim the money back, the difference between what you've been taxed and what you should have been taxed, if this was a fair scheme. So if you need any help with that, just a quick, when can you do that? So your tax year ends each year on the 5th of April. So come the 6th of April, you are then immediately allowed to put in a self-assessment and to reclaim any CIS that's been deducted to the value of what it should have been if you've been taxed correctly, which CIS does not do. So if you need any help with that, either registering for CIS, registering for as a self-employed and for CIS, or if you need help doing your self-assessment so that you can get this tax back as soon as possible, then please do get in touch. Thanks for listening.